And can you show me the doll that is the nice doll? And why is that the nice doll?
He's white.
And can you show me the doll that looks bad? Okay. And and why does that look bad?
Because it's black.
And why do you think that's a nice doll?
Because she's white.
And can you give me the doll that looks like you?
Mhm.
15 out of the 21 children preferred the white doll.
Is there a racial lens affecting how the public sees the Carmelo case? Is Carmelo were white? Would people immediately understand his action as self-defense? Would the bar for believing his fear be lowered the way it was in the George Zimmerman case? In all the media coverage surrounding this incident, not once did they highlight that Austin Metcalf initiated the confrontation. Not once did they hold him accountable for escalating the situation or contributing to the outcome that cost him his life. Instead, the focus shifted entirely onto Carmelo, as if his warning, touch me and see what happens, was some kind of premeditated threat. But that statement doesn't equal premeditation. It doesn't mean he planned to kill anyone. It means didn't want to be touched. And in a fight, unless you are a trained martial artist who studies anatomy, your actions are reflective. You hit someone where you can hit. You react to the threat in front of you. You do whatever you can to stop the danger. That's instinct, not calculation. In some media coverage, they zoom in on the alleged knife to full the screen, making it seem larger than a legal 3.5-inch pocket knife. While at the same time, they don't zoom in on the footage that happened under the tent. The doll test from Brown versus Board of Education era showed how deeply racial conditioning shapes perception, even in children. People saw identical dolls differently based solely on color.
That you like best or that you'd like to play with?
This one. I like that one.
Show me this.
I'm killing.
This one.
That one?
I like to play with this.
And can you show me the doll that is the nice doll? And why is that the nice doll?
He's white.
And can you show me the doll that looks bad? Okay. And and why does that look bad?
Because it's black.
And why do you think that's a nice doll?
Because she's white.
And can you give me the doll that looks like you?
Now, look at the footage under the tent at the school stadium. Carmela is sitting, a commotion forms in front of him, hands start flying. He crawls back out, stand up, and runs while others move as if they're about to chase him. The others who tried to chase Carmelo were there with Austin as his backup while he dealt with Carmelo. Nothing about the moment looks like Carmelo was the aggressor. It looks like someone is trying to protect himself. And yet the narrative never reflects that. Now that the footage is out, people see what actually happened. It's time to hear what others think. Different people, different backgrounds, different experiences, and each one has something to say about the release of this video. Here we go.
In the tent and he saw his buddy Eddie. So based on all the information that I gathered, this is what happened during the Carmelo Anthony case. It was raining. He was by a dugout. He got kicked out of the dugout. So he was moving around and he ended up seeing the tent and he saw his buddy Eddie, right? Went over there to Eddie. Eddie's like, come on, bro. Slid up underneath the tent with his partner Eddie. They're sitting underneath the tent, right? For 9 minutes. Into the 9 minutes, right? They chopping it up or whatever. Into the 9 minutes, somebody in a black hoodie, probably Hunter, walked up to them. And he told Karmelo, bro, you can't be over here. This ain't your school. You're not supposed to be in this tent. Karmelo was like, man, whatever, bro. Whatever. I'm not going nowhere. Whatever you talking about. So Hunter got bitter and spun off, right? And he walked away, right? And this is the 2 minutes that's left in the situation. He came back. He went and got his homies. And if you don't know about boys in school and being territorial over their shit, that's how that shit works. And he's in a different kid's tent, so it's all just that one school. He went and got all his homies, 6 of them, with his brother, Austin, and he doubled back to where they were. And when they went back over there, they splintered off. One boy went over at the bottom of the bleachers to keep point, right? Keep point means to watch out for anybody that walks up on the situation, any adults. Another 1 or 2 went to make sure he ran interference with the coach to make sure that the coach didn't come over there when they went and approached Karmelo, right? The other 4 walked up to Melo, right, and was like, yo, you need to leave from up underneath this tent, right? Eddie, Carmelo's friend, going to that school and being scared, right, got up and was like, man, this ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, I'm cool on that. So Karmelo was by himself. And Eddie pulled out his phone and was recording this shit, right? So now Austin Melo has something in his bag. He's like, man, you better leave me alone. Y'all better leave me alone. I got something in my bag. Touch me and see what happens. Austin tried to grab Melo's bag. He grabbed his bag. That's when everything ensued. That's when the whole commotion ensued, right? Eddie's scary as shit because he didn't back his homie up, right? Grabbed the bag, and then they started pouncing on him, right? Jumping on him. All 4 boys, right? So Melo is sitting down the whole time. And in the midst of all them getting on him, he tried to get away, and they grabbed him by his hoodie and held him by his hoodie, right? And based on other people that seen that clear video, they're saying that Austin fell on the blade, right? Could have been that. Could have been the fact that they were trying to snatch him back when Karmelo was trying to get away, and he jabbed out one time, and he hit Austin in the midst of all this commotion. And then he got up, right? He crab walked back to get up and ran away. And 2 boys tried to take chase, but he was too fast and they couldn't catch him, right? Nowhere in the video did it show Hunter holding his brother as he passed, right? And then the situation with the courts and how they railroaded him. He had a black judge, a woman. She stepped down. Judge Roach came in. Then they changed the venues of where the case was being held to a majority Republican-led state, right, in Texas. Then the situation with the videotape, they didn't allow the videotape to be admitted in the court because of the clear tape. They showed a grainy-ass tape that doesn't show anything. There's no way that they had a clear video of what happened, and they did not admit that in court. It's exculpatory evidence that should have been admitted into the courts.
You seen the video with your own 2 eyes. Was it clear enough, or was it fuzzy, or what?
No, it was clear. It was clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You see that Karmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain, or?
Yeah, it was still raining. You know, right. I'm from Louisville. So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day. Okay. So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already. And so during that time when that happened, the twins, their 2 buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them, they were all coming from the direction of the middle school, right, coming walking back up. Right. On the video, you can see those 4 that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past. Right. The other 4 went and they surrounding Karmelo. You know, if you're Karmelo,
and they show that on that video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see them walk.
I'm gonna say little stuff.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things.
Okay.
So watch those four. Here, they're four right there coming up.
Right.
That's exactly what they say.
Okay.
And so you have no way to be confused that it's those four.
Okay.
So they come up, they surround them, and it's immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause. Then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
So it's more than the twins that got some licks
all
on.
four.
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle.
Okay.
And you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here.
Okay.
I think that's what I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking, and kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag.
Right.
And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag.
Okay.
Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonizing. And we know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so you don't have to touch me. But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there. And whatever they say alleged was said, you don't know that until they get to it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Karmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in.
Okay.
And when they brought him back in, that's when you can see Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell. And that's when they realized he was gone. So they were still punching. And when he fell, that's when they all turned around. They started chasing him. Austin tried to go chase him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him. And that's when he went down a little bit and he fell down. But all three of them were chasing. But Karmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach. And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Karmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Karmelo out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement. He just wasn't sitting with it. He whipped his head around. You see him on the video. And that's when he walked over to where Austin was. But he never touched him. So all that stuff about him rendering aid and holding his heart, he never did that, because the coach grabbed him and he was holding him. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where the moment went. But they did assault him. And we'll just play the game. Even if it was just a push, you still assaulted him, because it was unwanted. By your own definition and your word of him saying that leave me alone and I'm not going, you assaulted him, period. But they did beat him. And if you look at the, not the photo that Fox 4 put out, because that was one that they actually edited. I have the emails to prove it. But the actual Collin County one, you can see the webs and stuff on his eye. You can see the bridge of his nose is swollen. You can see the webs under his neck. And so that's the reason why they edited the one from Fox and kind of airbrushed it. And you can see they put the locks of his hair that got taken out as well.
Cross the boundary into my personal space.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me. It's on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
Let's see. Hold on one second. Is he gonna be okay? I don't know yet, man. Karmelo.
That sounds like self-defense to me, sweetheart. Clear as fucking day. He touched me. I told him not to touch me, okay? He put his hands on me. I told him not to. Touch me and see what happens in the Black community is a warning that you have crossed the boundary into my personal space. And if you don't remove yourself from my personal space, somebody is liable to get hurt. That is not a threat. That is a warning. And you know why white folks don't understand that warning? Is because they're usually the ones giving the threat. That's why the prosecution said that was a threat. He made a threat. He made a threat. He made a threat towards Austin Metcalf. No, Austin Metcalf did not know what a boundary was. Like most 3x5 cards. Y'all don't know boundaries, okay? This needs to go back in. We need another trial, okay, baby? Because this shit, no. With the judge abruptly trying to fucking leave, with Austin Metcalf's dad getting on the internet and calling Karmelo Anthony a watermelon felon, an all-white jury. No, retrial. That appeal needs to. We need a fucking that. Boy, self-defense.
I am disgusted, to say the least. This country pisses me off because only in this country can you claim self-defense if you are a white man or an Asian man or of any other color. But if you are a black woman or a black man and you claim self-defense, they find every reason why you cannot claim it. And I'm pissed off. Karmelo Anthony was found guilty of murder. When are we going to make a law, a keep your motherfucking hands to yourself law?
Karmelo Anthony footage today. So if you were still trying to claim that it was self-defense, that he was surrounded, that he was jumped, that he ran to a teacher to hug him because he was so upset, it's bullshit. It's total fucking bullshit. It is tragic all the way around, but I think that 35 years was light. I hope that he's able to take that time, do some self-reflection, get out and do some good. I hope that the Metcalfs are able to heal, and I wish that everybody else would just stop spreading this bullshit and making it about race and things that don't matter and have absolutely nothing to do with the facts, which are he took someone's life for no reason.
He intended to kill the brother. I think he just intended to jab him so he would back off. But when you are afraid, when you are scared, when you are timid, when you are fighting for your life, Art, you will do anything. How many women have shot and killed domestically abusive husbands and didn't do it on purpose? How many women have shot and killed domestically abusive husbands, but they didn't do it on purpose? They did it out of fear that I need to act before he acts. And if I miss, I might die. He could have been beat to death that day, Art. Karmelo Anthony could have been beat to death that day, and instead he chose to stand his ground. So what's the problem then, Art? Why are white folks all up in arms over this? Y'all wasn't up in arms when Breonna Taylor got murdered. Y'all wasn't up in arms when Trayvon got murdered. Y'all wasn't up in arms with Freddie Gray or Philando Castile or Tamir Rice or Sandra Bland. Y'all wasn't up in arms with Amir Locke, Sonia Massey. All these black people murdered by police and so-called vigilante white people. Y'all didn't say nothing about them. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines, Art. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines, bought a rifle, crossed state lines, unalived 2 people, injured many others, and he went home free. No conviction. George Zimmerman pursued Trayvon Martin with a gun, shot him in cold blood. He went home. No conviction. Daniel Penny choked our brother Jordan Neely to death in a New York City subway. Daniel Penny choked Jordan Neely to death. No conviction. Daniel Penny pursued Jordan Neely. George Zimmerman pursued Trayvon Martin. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines and pursued trouble, and they went home without a charge. Karmelo Anthony was sitting under a tent so he couldn't get wet. He was sitting under a tent so he couldn't get wet, and 2 racist white boys, rest in peace to Hunter. Condolences to his family. But these 2 racist white boys thought they had a right to forcibly move this black boy from that space. White people have always felt that they had jurisdiction over the black body. It goes back to the plantation days, Art. The problem with this case is the stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. The stand your ground law was meant for white people to be used against black people. It was never intended for black people to use the stand your ground law to defend themselves against white people. And guess what, Art? White people don't care whether or not Karmelo is justified or not. They don't care. Even if it is proven that Karmelo acted in self-defense, and it will be, they don't care. The problem with white folks is in this country, black people do not have a right to defend themselves from Caucasians. The law is on Karmelo's side. The problem is, the basic problem of this case in Frisco, Texas, Art, is a black boy valued his own life enough. A black boy valued his own life enough to take the life of a Caucasian in order to defend it. And in American history, you rarely come across black men, let alone a child, who valued his life enough and had courage enough to defend himself against two racists who were trying to harm him.
If this breakdown gave you something to think about, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned for another episode of What is Going On Media, where we make the complicated clear.